Welcome to the Nashville Post Podcast. My name is Nicolle Praino. I'm editor-in-chief of the Post, and on this show, we go inside the minds of company leaders who are reshaping our city's industries. This podcast is part of our Innovations and Ideas digital series brought to you by Cumberland Pharmaceuticals. For more stories and content like this, go to NashvillePost.com. Let's meet one of our disruptors.
Hey there, I'm Nikki Sanz, founder and CEO of Gigs, which is the professional career platform and media company for the live event industry.
Thank you so much for being here, Nikki.
Thank you. I'm honored to know you.
It is so exciting to sit here and talk about innovation in the music industry specifically because this is Nashville after all. Yeah.
Days after, actually the day after CMA Fest. That's why I don't really have a voice.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, Nashville is really, it's either, if you want to work in the music industry, it's either Nashville, LA, or New York. And I knew it was Nashville. And I moved here the day after I graduated college because this is kind of, I mean, it's country music mecca. This is where all tour buses leave and come back. And kind of with pop and rock and every other genre, you can live anywhere. But with country music, you got to live in Nashville.
Why is what you're doing innovative today?
Oof. Well, it's really crazy to say that the music industry, the live event industry, hasn't really had a job board for these jobs like audio, video, lighting, carpentry, VIP, catering, production jobs. There has not been a job board for them or a professional network. It's hard to believe. And the reason is because you can't post, the job. I worked for Beyonce. You can't post backstage coordinator for Beyonce or lighting tech for Coldplay. You can't post those anywhere because you're going to get fans. So everything has been built on trust, who you know, because you also live with these people on a tour bus. I was on a tour bus living with 11 other people for a year, and that was with Eric Church. And you have to know that they're not only good at their job, but they're someone you want to be around, and they're discreet enough to be around celebrities and famous people, and they're okay with this crazy lifestyle of working 18-hour days. It's a very specific type of person. And so my goal with Gigs and creating the job board, and now it's become the media platform, is to finally bring this to our industry as an open, like the front door to anyone that wants to come in the industry, which when I moved to Nashville, there was, how was I supposed to get on the road? Everyone just says, you got to meet the right people. Gigs actually lets you meet the right people. We host events. We have content online. You can actually meet people through our platform. You can apply to jobs on our platform. It's the front door to come into the industry, and it's the home to actually keep you in the industry and thriving as a freelancer.
That's such a great pitch up and down, that we're sitting in the Entrepreneur Center. So to talk about an elevator pitch, if you will,
yeah,
about what it is that Gigs is. And it is so innovative just by nature of what you're doing. So tell me a little bit about why you got started. You talked about moving to Nashville. You talked about being on a tour bus. Yeah. So you are ingrained a part of this industry before you start Gigs. Tell that story.
So blessed to be in this industry because it's hard. It's hard to get in and it's hard to stay in. And so I moved to Nashville. I didn't know anyone. I lived with strangers and I just kept networking my butt off. And what does that mean if there are no networking events? It was on LinkedIn and on Instagram DM, reaching out to people at Live Nation and Red Light Management and asking if I can just shadow or work for free, which I ended up doing at recording studios and different concerts, different venues. Finally met the right people to get on the road with Eric Church, which was kind of my start. Finally, I could understand what touring life was like, which it's unlike anything. It's crazy and beautiful, and it's such a great career path, and you can make so much money. And no one in high school knows it's such a great career path. So I was doing that. I was on the road. I worked the Super Bowl. I worked TV and film, corporate events, trade shows, festivals. I was working cameras at Bonnaroo, and I was just trying all the different things. And I loved it. And then COVID happened. Obviously, that was devastating for our industry. We lost about 25% of the workforce. When I came back, I was helping to staff different events and different tours. And this is actually the story of how I started it. I was staffing. I found after a long time of finding 3 tour managers that could do a good Asia run. Basically, how could you take this band, this American band, over to Asia and be really good at the immigration and all of that? It's complicated. So how am I supposed to find that? Through Facebook and through texting people. Do you know anyone that knows how to tour Asia? Finally found 3 great people. 2 people show up to the interview. They were great. I felt good. The third one, she was late. She showed up on her phone in like a greenhouse in a sports bra, all tatted up. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. This isn't going to go well. She got the job. And in that moment, I'm like, yup, this industry is all about fit and vibe. She was the best fit for the band. And she knew her stuff. But it's not corporate America. It moves differently. We can't have LinkedIn. There has to be a different way. And so I started gigs as, again, we're going to do things differently, but there has to be order and some kind of efficiency in this industry. Where it's gone in the last 4 years, what we saw is people are consuming our media like crazy. We started a podcast in 2024 just to, honestly, for marketing, to get people on our app. And it blew up. We're now getting 4 million views a month, and it's climbing. It's crazy because we're interviewing the tour manager for Beyonce, the lighting designer for Coldplay, the audio engineer for Ed Sheeran, and also people that are at the start of their career and all of their stories, how they learned these things the wrong way, the hard way, whatever it is. Like, these stories just aren't being told.
Yeah.
There's no media focused on these people. And so that's been the direction of now we have events and all this different educational material that these people need and literally don't exist in this industry. It's crazy.
What have you learned the most over these 4 years? Because a lot's changed, like you said.
Yes. I think if anyone is going into entrepreneurship, you're not building a business. The business is building you. I have learned a lot about what I do in failure, how far I actually can push, and that I literally don't know anything. And I've known that from the beginning. I have no idea what I'm doing. And so I'm just the EC, the Entrepreneur Center, was my first stop. I love them all here. They help so much. What I've learned through building this business is I don't know how anyone runs a business if they aren't so passionate about the thing. I never wanted to run a business. I just want to solve this problem. What I'm seeing and the biggest things I'm learning is that we're solving it. It's the coolest thing. I had mentioned before, we just did the CMA Touring Awards. We were the red carpet press. We were backstage interviewing the winners. And I was interviewing this guy who just got his first job with Morgan Wallen doing pyro. And that's a massive stadium tour. And I'm like, man, that's such a great gig. How'd you get it? He's like, I got it from gigs. I would never be in this industry without gigs. And so on the days where that suck, that I'm worried about making payroll, that I'm in the financial model and making sales or losing sales or whatever it is that just stink. It's those moments of like, okay, this guy would never even have a career in this industry without this thing we built. Or this event that we put on last week where we had 150 people at a bar that show up and that they all either want to be in the industry and meet people or they're looking for that next job. They would not have otherwise been able to meet those people without gigs. And so luckily we get to see it all the time of just how impactful this is for people, and it helps us keep going. But man, is entrepreneurship hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the administrative side of the business is never really the fun part, unless that's your thing. But for us creatives,
yeah,
it's not the thing.
When you just care about, exactly, the creative side and the storytelling and the mission of gigs, rather than how are we making the most every month? And so obviously that's when you just have to build your team with the people that's their specialties, which we're doing. And I have an amazing team.
How has it gone building a team? I mean, you started out with just an idea, right? And probably just yourself solo.
Oh, yeah.
So what's it been like kind of creating around that?
I think if you have the right co-founder, really smart to go with a co-founder. I just didn't know anyone that wanted to go all in, balls to the wall with this thing with me. So, and I'm totally a control freak too. So I think it worked out that I was a solo founder, but it was me for about 2 years. And then but in that I had so many mentors and so many people that were helping me. Finally, I got to a place of, I can't do all this alone. There's so many mountains that you have to climb at one time, and you don't know how to climb any of them. And you have to manage the finances and the fundraising, and then you have to be figuring out your go-to-market strategy and your revenue model and building the tech, all of which I didn't know how to do. So I finally got, my first intern to help take over social media. And then she became my podcast producer full time. And then she helped with all the events. And then, but I've failed in who I've hired, and it hasn't been the right fit. And I'm sure I've failed them as certain people of maybe I didn't train them right, or maybe I wasn't. You never know. Every failure hurts, and I sit and I think about them all the time. So I don't make those failures again. But what I've learned in hiring is, if they are the right personality fit for the job that they're in, and they have the skills, everyone that I'm interviewing has the skills, they can learn the business. Mm-hmm. It's the vibe. And what I mean by vibe is, do they have the entrepreneurial mind that I do? Can they lead that whole department that they're in? Can Spencer, my podcast producer and director of marketing, is he excited to completely create what that even means without me? Are they excited? Ginny, who did all of our social media, can she create a merch line? Does she want to just own that? Because I don't have time to do that. Can Ryan create what trailers look like and our whole YouTube process? They love that. So I've started hiring entrepreneurs that just want to dive in, and that's their vibe, is just excitement. Next week, we might change our strategy completely. Are they excited about that? Are they all in it? Are we all in this together? Do we know the mission? And can they execute without me? And that has been the biggest game changer. So anyone I hire, that has been it. And so I think with larger corporate businesses, but I have 3 employees. So
yeah,
they're going to all lead the business. We're all going to have people under them.
I think more people should be talking about that. I hear that in other conversations about business, that hiring and knowing the personality and the culture that you're creating, especially when you're starting as a founder,
yes,
makes all the difference in the world.
Oh, yeah. And then also something that I did was I hired people that understood the industry over their skill. And that kind of hurt me too. Because it really doesn't matter with that either. I don't know. I think any angel investor or VC that puts in money, invests in a first-time founder, is such an angel. That's why they're called it, because I am the first to admit that I am learning for the first time, and I have to make all these mistakes, and they know that. I can't wait to make so much money to invest and angel invest in these first-time founders, because I'm still learning how to do this. But anyways, it's all about their fit and their attitude and their vibe, ultimately.
The Nashville Post Podcast series is proudly sponsored by Cumberland Pharmaceuticals, Nashville's specialty biopharmaceutical company. With a focus on innovation, Cumberland is working to develop new medicines for the future. The company also sponsors and operates Nashville's Life Sciences Center, which houses Cumberland's laboratories and supports the community as a home for emerging medical ventures. Cumberland is committed to improving patient care and to strengthening the life sciences sector of Tennessee's healthcare ecosystem. Learn more at cumberlandpharma.com. You brought up the funding portion, so I do want to kind of stick on that for a minute about how Gigs is, working out its revenue strategy and figuring out, do we take VC money, or, what's the right VC money to take? What are your thoughts behind that overall? Because Nashville has a venture, group that I would say is growing.
Totally.
It's started very small, and people have said there's something different about it. It's not this, Silicon Valley is its whole own thing.
Oh yeah.
But so is Nashville's group. So
in big part to Zap, I got to give a shout out because she's amazing and she's really led that. And same with the EC here. and launched Tennessee. All right, I had to get my shout outs. Now moving on. So I started with all of my savings and investments and everything. I put $200,000 into this and ultimately ran out of that and had to start raising capital. And I went the angel route to start, obviously. And what I realized that you're selling just the vision. They like the idea, but they're just buying into you. And like, can this founder actually, do they have what it takes? The valuation is so made up too. Like they just have to be like, all right, I trust you, go do big things with this money. It's a crazy amount of pressure. Right now I have 35 angels. I've raised 1.2 million. And right now I'm raising my seed round. I'm raising $1 million right now. And the question of do you go VC or do you go angel? It's dang. I mean, when I look back, I just raised enough to get by that season. And then it's like, you know what? I'm doing another raise on a safe. I'm going to just raise enough to get by. What I found was the best fit are the people that right away, they just get it. They're like, yeah, how does this not exist? This is so cool. And they challenge me. They see maybe how I am over the last month of work and how excited and what have we done in a month and see how quickly we work. Whatever. I'm getting off topic. So do you go VC? Do you go angel? How do you structure it? I think if I were to go back, I don't think I would do it differently because the 35 angels that I have are in my corner and they're riding for me. They're making introductions for me. They've invested multiple times with me. And VC is a whole different world where I don't know if they, especially 2 years ago, they would not have understood why I wasn't charging one side of the marketplace for so long. I'm finally going to start charging them, but they would have probably been like, you got to start charging. We need to make money right now. And I think it could have majorly hurt the brand. And so I didn't care losing more equity to raise more money, to build the marketplace first, then start. So it was just gut feelings, I think. And I mean, for this round, I hope to be a lot of angels. I have it already started, we have the first check-in for this round. But it's terrible because I'm trying to run the business and all the things while also needing to give all my time to raising the capital too. So it's tough. Yeah.
And you talked a little bit about, you don't want to hurt the community in it. You also have to make money, as a business.
Oh yeah, let me talk about that.
Yeah.
So last year, we finally we launched, or it was 2 years ago that we launched for employers to start paying. So for one side of the marketplace to start paying. So we were a year in and we were not making the revenue that I really expected to make. And I ended up in the hospital 3 times and I thought I had, GI issues or neck pain or whatever it was, but it was all this insane stress and pressure I was putting on myself. And that was on me. I had way more employees at the time. I had a certain way that I thought we would achieve the initial hypothesis and it wasn't working. And that is the craziest death of your ego of what I thought we built to make this money isn't working. And I failed all of my employees and all my investors and everyone in the gigs community. And meanwhile, I never knew what I was doing the whole time. So how did I not know? But also I'm not expected to know. So anyways, I get out of the hospital. I meet with amazing mentors, one being Nigel Green. And he's basically like, okay, it's not working. We have to change this. Let's talk about it. And so we did a whole day session and we pivoted and we went, okay, where's the money coming in a lot easier than instead of SaaS? Where's it coming in? Sponsorships. So that's when we were like, okay, if we have events, a lot of these companies want to be a part of the events. If we do a docuseries, if we kind of do a deep dive podcast on these companies, do they want to pay for it? Yeah, they're paying big bucks for it, more than we've ever realized. And the production is expensive, but the exposure they get. So we're doing podcasts on private jets. We're doing podcasts in production studios. We actually just got back from LA doing a whole documentary on the logistics company that is moving everything from around the world for the FIFA World Cup. And then on Monday, I'm going to the World Cup and we're finishing that documentary. That's what our audience wants to see. And that's what that company wants, that exposure. So that was finally a huge moment of, okay, what I, Nikki, thought was going to be the thing that would make the millions, that might not work then. This is working now. We're going to put all of our effort into that. And that was my first experience with pivot. And so when I finally went to my mentor group, and I'm crying and I'm like, I can't believe like I have to pivot. They're like, Nikki, you're pivoting. Get over it. Everyone has to do that. Stop and so it's just an emotional ride. So now I'm really excited with where we're at because I feel it. I feel like this is the path. We have the audience that these companies want access to, and we can sell that.
Mm-hmm. So the media portion of gigs is really the pivot now.
And that was the unexpected thing. The media was just for marketing, but that is now what our brand is. And what this could become is, I'm leading the gigs documentary and then the main gigs podcast, but what if we find an amazing personality to lead a gigs audio? Hey, we got an audio engineer right over here. A gigs audio podcast that could really deep dive and really know what they're talking about. A lighting guy that could really, so it could become an entire media company that by next year we're going to create education, like kind of masterclass style of how to be a tour manager, how to be a carpenter. Why are students, respectfully, I love Belmont, but why are students going to Belmont and paying $200,000 to become a tour manager when you could go to a trade school? Oh, well, the trade schools don't exist. We can create that. We have the media capability to do it. So there's so much that we can do.
I talk about that all the time now with my husband about education because we just hired for a child. And so we talk about how we want, our kid to learn. And he's in construction, so he's trades.
Love.
And I'm a journalist. And that was very hands-on experience. I love my college. I went to UGA.
Love.
But I got my training not in classes. I got it from working at the paper.
Exactly.
So we're very much the kind of people who are get your hands on and learn that way.
That's the exciting thing that we're all, I think, as a society seeing this huge shift. And I want to capitalize it and actually help the industry because we can do it, And why doesn't it exist? That's crazy.
Yeah. Especially for an industry as big as music.
Yeah, but again, this is a cool analogy we were just put a post out about. It's the live event industry specifically, the people in the black t-shirts working backstage, is a very orally tradition passed down orally. You learn how to be a production assistant or a production runner or a lighting tech just by working in the warehouse and seeing how things work. And there literally isn't anything where you sit down and you learn what it is. So how can we now bottle it up and take Sooner Ruthier, who designed Coldplay's shows, and Mark Oglesby, who is Post Malone's tour manager, and actually use the greats of our industry before they retire to teach the next generation.
That's so Nashville too.
Yeah.
I was just talking about with another guest about the community aspect of Nashville, and you talking about teaching down, from generation to generation is so what this city particularly is all about.
Yes, and if that can kind of spread from here, oh my gosh, yeah, I agree.
Unstoppable. So tell me about how AI is impacting your business.
Oof. I love this question because we are not going to have robots replacing these jobs anytime soon. We're not. The only thing that, I use Claude and chat all day, every day, and it helps with video production. It helps with everything. It will only help this industry right now, I think, because it's still the most hands-on job. Live events were taken out the most in a pandemic. But live events will not be affected by this. It will only be enhanced. So I kind of see it as, have you been to the Sphere in Las Vegas?
No, I wish.
Oh my gosh, it was the coolest thing ever. So I saw the Eagles there, changed my life. Was okay, I can die now. It was amazing. But then I saw the Wizard of Oz and that movie experience.
Yeah.
So you see, I don't want to ruin it, but you see these huge butterfly drones and you just do not understand how you're seeing these huge butterflies around you. You're seeing flying monkeys that are massive and they're drones. There's a lot of things that are only going to enhance live events. For example, you've been to a show at Nissan Stadium here?
Yeah.
When you go to a football game, they're using the house speakers. And whenever they're announcing things, it's very echoey. But when you see, I just saw Chris Stapleton, flawless audio. And I'm like, how does it sound so good? And how is there no echo? He's that far away, but I hear it so perfectly because of the insane technology of these speaker systems and where they put it. Everything will only get better. Like, you don't get a Taylor Swift tour in 1999. Like, it's only possible to do an Eras tour in 2025 when they had it. So I think, and then again, the jobs, it's only going to produce more jobs, not less. So I'm very happy. I mean, selfishly, building a company to get people jobs in this industry, it's only going to grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think too, with AI and rise of technology, right, in the world that we live in now, people value live events so much more too.
Exactly. And that's, I think it's kind of cool. We're seeing a lot of people getting upset by the ticket prices and like literally not being able to afford it anymore. And I think we're going to see a shift there, hopefully, because I miss going to shows because they're so expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone is valuing that. And the other side of this, if gigs started out as just like a marketplace online, and now we're doing all these in-person events, what are we all needing is that community. Every dating app is now like a run club or like a meetup in-person thing or whatever it is. Like, everyone's like, okay, the thing for the last, I don't know, since COVID, for the last 6 years has not been working online. We crave it. We need in-person experiences. And so when I have a gigs event, I'm hiring PAs, I'm hiring a videographer and a security guard and a photographer. And like those, what if every company is putting on events? Every company is putting on events right now. They're all going to be needing this labor. It's really exciting time.
What about this to you is so special to Nashville? Because you could have built this anywhere. You know, you could have had your time here in Nashville and gotten into country music and then said, oh, but I could build this in LA where, you know, if you talking about the SaaS stuff and everything, you have the Silicon Valley background over there. And like, you know, what made you say, I'm going to stick in Nashville?
Wow. That's such an awesome question. How long have you lived here?
3 years.
3. Okay. Where'd you come from?
Atlanta.
Oh, okay. What brought you here? Was it the job?
Yeah. My husband is from Middle Tennessee.
Okay.
So when we got married, we were kind of, where are we going to live?
Yeah.
And came here.
Okay.
Yep.
So I knew I wanted to be here because LA and New York are just too big for me. But those are the 3 hubs, LA and New York and Nashville. I think once you're here, it just feels like home. I don't know 100%. What it is. And it's not anything. It's the people that come here. There is just an energy of most people aren't from here and everyone wants to know each other and help each other. That's the hugest difference I've seen. People in LA are awesome and like so chill. Whenever I try to put on events, I'm like, are you going to get back to my email? Like, they're just so chill over there and it's awesome. And New York is a whole different, it's way more like heavy theater. And so Nashville and LA have most of the, and Vegas too, production company hubs. So any of the staging equipment or lighting or video has like warehouses here. So if you want to be involved in live events, Nashville is it. LA, Vegas as well, they're big. Why I want to be here is this is more of a home than Charlotte, North Carolina that I grew up in. It just felt like my people. And I can't imagine myself anywhere else in another hub. It's how people help. So when you're starting a company, that's why I love the EC so much. But I have felt it's crazy how much people want to help and make introductions for you here. It's a different world. And when I went to, let's say, South by Southwest, where a lot of the West Coast goes to, and it did not, the best place there was the Launch Tennessee House. It felt so inclusive and warm and happy. And then like all the other ones were just very cutthroat. And I just don't, Nashville is warm.
Yeah, it is. It is. It really is a special place that like, if you stay here long enough, like you're going to want to stay here.
And you know everyone. That's the difference too. It's so nice walking anywhere and just seeing, like knowing someone everywhere you go. And like there's a million events going on all the time. If you just say yes, that's what I did literally for the last 4 years is like, just say yes to every event. And wow, what a network it can help you create. It's so cool.
And surely you're exhausted when you do that.
And I don't have a voice ever. I know. It's been hard to maintain, but it's always worth it. It's always worth it.
Well, the last thing I want to kind of end on and wrap up with circles back to AI, but also about being a human and the human experience. Tell me about how artificial intelligence has changed your life personally. Nothing to do with the business, just what it's doing in your life.
It's so funny. My one of my employees looked over at my computer, and the last thing I had said to Claude was, "From my lawyer, what does this mean?" And it was like, I'm learning so much. When I was trying to understand, I did a bunch of safe rounds, and now this round is going to be priced equity. And I'm just like, hey, Claude, tell me everything I need to know. Like, give me my MBA right now. And it is educating me so much. I would never know or have the confidence to sit across from an investor and tell them why I'm choosing to do equity at this priced $8 million round versus a safe note, whatever. So there's the education I'm actually learning, which is so nice. It's the creation. It's helping with marketing ideas with different hooks. One great thing is like we will do a podcast episode with someone. We'll put that transcript in it'll help us come up with the title and then with the blog and then with the newsletter marketing. And how many ways can we spit this one piece of content we did or wrote, created in some way, and get the most visibility and traction and engagement from people? That helps so much there. And I'm trying to think of, I think the education for me especially, I would never be able to move as quickly as I am right now either.
That's it. I mean, that really is, I feel like it helps people to, not just learn more, but to go deeper than they ever could.
Yes.
And
yes. And then you pull your own human side out and add to it. It's like, oh, that's amazing. Like, my team has a 2-hour-long call about what we want our next tech product to look like and how to work and everything. You can throw that on in, make an entire document to then go hire the tech person to go do it. That would have taken so long to write up. When I first started this in 2022, it was before I was on chat or any AI model. And I literally used a book to write my business model. And it took me 3 weeks to write my business model. And I would never recommend that to anyone. I'm like, hey, you want to start a business? Go into AI right away and have it prompt you. It's still your creation. It's not going to make your business for you. And it's not going to know how to find that product market fit. I think the part where people can get really stuck with it, and I think I have found myself, is like, it can do things like this for you, but it can't make your business successful. It's still you and human engagement and human problem solving and ideas to actually make it work. And so maybe it'll get there someday and we'll all just be living on a beach. Who knows? But right now, I'm so grateful to live in the timeline of what it is right now, because I think it's giving so many entrepreneurs and people just having a great idea to just create the business. It's so cool.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of hope around it, I think, in that regard.
I'm so positive about it. Even with it coming in and ruining jobs, I'm not concerned about it, because those jobs maybe should be replaced.
People in the industry who are really utilizing it in this kind of way, they all say the same thing. Like, it's not actually hurting jobs in the way that I think there was a lot of fear when it first came out. It's going to replace everybody's jobs in every industry, you know? And I think now industries and the experts in industries are saying, no, here's how we're going to use it to create new jobs, to create different jobs, to, it's totally different.
We don't even know the jobs that this is going to create. But I think for a journalist to say that is huge too. It's really cool to hear that.
Yeah. Don't just listen to me. I'm sure there's other people who would say, like, I know that there are people who have harder stances on it necessarily than I even do.
Totally. Yeah.
But I think that from the journalist perspective, when we can use it ethically, like, we're smarter for it, and we'll create the industry that's meant to be created around it, versus letting it take over and letting people who aren't creating with it ethically, have their say. If we're going to put that, morality behind it first, we should be the ones leading. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a tool.
I love that. I really do. That is a great place to end, I think, on just that positive vibe. I love that. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. We went in so many different directions.
Yeah.
I feel like we should just continue this and have more podcasts.
Open to it anytime. Thank you. You're awesome.
Thanks for listening to the Nashville Post Podcast. Be sure to follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. And please help spread the word by sharing, rating, and reviewing the show. The Innovations and Ideas digital series is brought to you by the Nashville Post with support from Cumberland Pharmaceuticals. For more content like this, go to nashvillepost.com and follow us on LinkedIn or wherever you get your news. This episode was produced in partnership with Relationary Marketing and the Nashville Entrepreneur Center. Produced and engineered by Buckner, Chuck Bryant, AJ Meyers, Noah Kammer, and Amira McCall.